Good morning, afternoon, or evening. This is I'm going to try to keep it to a half an hour chair yoga / stretch class for those of you who have been asking me to give you one of those. Now, there is another chair yoga class on YouTube as well, on my YouTube channel. So search that out. That is one that I recorded for people who, they actually, you can just roll out of bed, sit on the side of your bed. This one you can also do right out of bed, just sit on the edge of the bed and do this workout. And it's going to be short and sweet and effective. All right, enjoy. So we want to start by just sitting on the edge of the chair. Start with your feet firmly rooted, hands to the heart, and then sweep the arms overhead. Take an in-breath. And exhale, bring the hands back down to your heart. Do that a few times, reaching up. Exhale. And one more time, inhale. Exhale. Go ahead, now take the arms out to the side. Inhale, open out, and try to reach back a little further each time you do this. Bring it all the way in, clasp your hands and press the palms away. Round your back. This time on the inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms out and back behind you. Open up even more as you inhale. Exhale, bring it forward. This time as you clasp your hands, make sure you clasp in a way that doesn't feel familiar to you. Press the palms away, round your back. Chin comes in toward the soft part of the throat, and your back is moving as far toward the back of the chair as possible. Again, inhale, reach the arms overhead. Let go of the clasping. Exhaling, take an inhale, palms forward, reach the arms even further back. Keep the shoulders down away from your ears. And one more time, let's bring the hands together on exhale. Clasp in the way that is unfamiliar. Again, press palms, round your back as you exhale. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Good, exhale the arms down. This time, reach your arms back to grab the back of the chair. Take an inhale, slide to the very edge of your chair or the edge of the bed or whatever you're sitting on. Open up the heart a little bit more. Hold here, draw the shoulders down, draw the shoulder blades down your back. Your chin's gonna go up just a little bit. Stay here, breathe here. If you don't have a chair to hold on to, you're just reaching your arms back. They can be wider than your shoulders, right? Do what you can do. Take one last breath here. Good, and again, exhale, hands come to your thighs. Round your back, chin in. Inhale, extend the spine, draw the elbows back, heart up. Exhale, round. Inhale, rise. Exhale, round. Good. On your next in-breath, lift the chest, open up the heart. Now this time we're going to take the edge of the chair, or if you are on the bed, you're just putting your hand down on the bed, reach one of your arms up. It doesn't matter, I'm reaching my arm up, but you can mirror what I'm doing and bring the left arm up. Take an inhale, rotate your armpit toward the sky. Exhale, dive deeper. You don't even have to hold on to the chair, you can just let your arm reach down. Go take an in-breath and lengthen all the way up. Exhale, take the other side. Either mirroring me or taking your left arm up and over. Keep rooting down through both feet. Rotate the armpit toward the sky. As you exhale, if you were holding onto the chair, let go, reach your arm even further down. And that top arm is reaching over toward the opposite side of the room, just a little bit more. Good, rising up, take an in-breath. And as you exhale, we're gonna dive forward. Bring your ribs to your thighs. You can also just bring your hands to your thighs here. Let your head hang and weigh heavy and just shake out your head. Draw the crown of your head toward the earth. Say yes a few times. And no a few times. And then really let the head weigh heavy. Push down through the palms of your hands into your thighs and roll up slowly without your head coming up. So you're just going to keep your chin tucked the entire time. When you're ready to sit all the way up, then go ahead and lift your chin up away from your throat. Good. Again, reaching over to one side. The opposite arm is reaching down toward the floor. This time we're going to take that armpit and open up, but also bring the elbow back and then circle your arm bone through the shoulder socket. And do that just 2 more times. The elbows coming overhead if possible, right? And it's just a little more range of motion each time. Go ahead and then sweep that arm across your body to the opposite side. So you feel your core engage, you feel your waist, right, lengthening. Reach down with the opposite arm just a little bit more and rise up slowly. Take an in-breath. Exhale to the opposite side. But once you have reached as far as you can with both arms active, so the arm that's lower, we're reaching down strongly. We're not just hanging, right? You don't want to feel like you're hanging your body off of your spine. Bend that elbow, that top elbow, and circle the arm bone through the shoulder socket. Again, go as far as you can back behind you and as far forward as you can. Back. Good. And sweep that arm around across your body to the opposite side. So you start to feel your abs engage a bit. If you don't feel your abs engage them on purpose. And a lengthening along this side, this time, of your torso. Take an in-breath, rise up. And on your exhalation, again, bring your hands to your thighs. Take your feet out a little wider now and turn your heels in. Right, so I'm going to slide back just to show you heels in a bit and toes out. Okay. Take an in-breath. We're still seated on the edge of the chair, but leaning forward this time, hands are going to come inside the thighs and you're gently, gently pressing the thighs open. And then drop the left shoulder down, mirroring me. Again, it doesn't really matter which side you do, just make sure you do both. Bring it back to neutral. Inhale, exhale the other shoulder down. Keep the shoulder away from the ear. And your head is turning in the direction that you are facing. So you're not looking up at the sky here, but you are looking at one wall or the other, right? Let's do that again. Exhale, drop the left shoulder down. Look at the right side of the room. Keep that shoulder coming up around the ear. So you want the left shoulder blade drawing down the back. And one more time on the other side. Now the left shoulder drops down, the left shoulder blade draws down the back. We want to keep the shoulder and the ear as far away from each other as possible, both shoulders and ears. Lengthen the right side of your body. Take an inhale, bring it back to center. Exhale, let's dive forward. Again, letting the head hang, shake out any tension. If that feels like it's too much, please make sure your abs are engaged. And just roll up until you feel like you can stay in that forward fold, right? Eventually we're rolling all the way up. One more time, take an in-breath. Exhale, let's bring the right arm down, left arm up and over. I'm mirroring you. Again, it doesn't really matter. Just make sure you do both sides. Circle the arm around, but this time we're going to let the whole torso move, right? So you can hold on to the chair if you've got one with that right hand. And you're really circling your whole torso. Your ribs are moving open, right? And then we're reaching around. The pelvis stays cemented, or the sit bones really stay cemented to the chair. Good. Let's go ahead and do one more of those. Nice. And then come up and over. Again, we're moving at our full range of motion today. So every time you do this, you might be able to go a little bit further, especially if you're consistent with this practice. Take the arm back, around, open, back. Again, not just the arm through the shoulder this time, but really moving your rib cage as far open to one side and across as possible. And however that other arm, your left arm, wants to help you with that, please go ahead. One more time, take an in-breath, see if you can rotate your ribs even more and reach across. Rise up slowly, take an in-breath. And again, with your hands to your inner thighs, lean forward. And this time we're going to work on stretching the thighs even more, right? So once you're in that leaning position and your spine is extended, so we're not rounding the back and the shoulders aren't up around the ears. Lean forward, draw the heart forward. But now we're going to keep your right toes turned out or whatever, right? One of your toes turned out. Your left leg is going to straighten out and we'll do a warrior two. So we're sliding the left leg out, or if you're mirroring me, you're sliding your right leg out and your left knee is bent. Please make sure you can even bring your left hand inside that left inner knee to keep the knee from caving in. right? We don't want to push down. We want to be rooting down through the inner edge of your bent knee foot, right? Your left one, if you're mirroring me. Once you have that, please bring both arms up, push down strongly through both feet, push through your feet so you feel your legs engaging, almost like you're about to push off of the chair, right? Like that, right? And you could practice that as well. Warrior two. Now take reverse warrior. Let's bring it up and over. Keep that right knee from caving in, or if you're mirroring me, your left knee from caving down, right? Keep it pulling open so that the muscles of your outer thigh are supporting the stretch that's happening on the inner thigh. Bring it back up. Good. Now bring your right hand, or if you're mirroring me, left hand, or forearm to the thigh. And the opposite arm is going to reach up and over. Again, we're not caving in. We want to have that feeling of armpit shining toward the ceiling. Lengthening. Now push down through both feet, but especially push down through the straight leg, right? Really find some energy in that straight leg. Keep the shoulders away from your ears. One more breath here. Exhale, reach further. Good. Come back to warrior two and switch sides. So we're going to keep this knee, we're going to keep the foot away from the other foot. Keep the legs wide, in other words. But let's straighten out this leg and bend this knee. And it's important for you to see this, so I'm going to slide back a little bit. You want the toes on that straight leg to kind of point in. Show that a little better. So this foot, the toes are going to point in, not out. Okay, this foot does point out. Again, we're going to coax that left knee, or if you're mirroring me, your right knee open, arms out, warrior two. You can always keep the hand down. You can keep both hands down, in fact, right? Warrior two. Now push down through both feet, root down through the inner edge of your bent knee foot and the outer edge of the straight leg. Push down to come up if you want to try that. Just make sure you have a lot of energy in your legs and your arms are reaching dynamically as well. We're not leaning toward the bent knee. The spine is extending directly up out of the pelvis. Take reverse warrior now. Reach as far away from your bent knee as you can. Rotate the armpit open so your chest is open. Reach even further without collapsing the chest, right? Chest stays open. This other arm that is reaching down the straight leg, keep that shoulder away from your ear. Good. Another exhale to reach further still. Rise up. Notice how my knee kind of caved in there. Don't let your knee do that. Press the forearm down to the ground, to the thigh, or you can keep your hand there. I highly recommend getting that forearm down if possible. You could, right, if you wanted to, and you had a block, you could put a block down on the floor and reach for the block to go a little further. Good. Again, we're rooting down through both feet, especially the straight leg. Really energize and reach as far away from that, if you're mirroring me, right, as far away from your left foot as you can with your left arm. Reach up slowly, take an in-breath back to warrior two. Good. And now we're going to get both legs to straighten out here. Slide to the very, very edge of your chair. Straighten out both legs as much as you can. By the way, when you do this, make sure that if you are seated on a chair that you have a yoga sticky mat or a rug that does not allow for slipping, because like my chair is doing, right? We don't want that to happen. Okay, so keeping your legs straight, we're going to bring the arms, if possible, all the way down to the ground. Again, this is really helpful if you have, like, for instance, let's say a pillow, just so that you can bring your hands to the ground without feeling like you're having to reach too far. Good. Turn your gaze to the left or the right, and then in the other direction. And keep that going. Just do 2 more of those on each side. Meanwhile, your inner thighs are getting a nice stretch. If that's too intense, slide your feet closer together, right? Closer to the midline. All right, one last time. Bring one hand up to the thigh, the other hand up. Make sure you're not pushing so that your knees are not hyperextending. And slide those feet back into that original bent knee position. Great job. All right, from here, we're going to bring a little balance into it. So I'm going to be cueing you as though I'm mirroring you. So bring your left knee up, clasp your hands around your left shin and draw the knee in. Circle through your feet, the left foot, left ankle, and reverse. Now, if you have more time, just do things like flexing, pointing. You know, you could pull the toes back. You can just, you know, really get your feet talking and talk to your feet every day. It's more helpful than you can possibly imagine. And we've talked about this quite a bit, right? So from there, if you want to, you can just stay there and work on extending your spine. So the side view of your spine is here, not here. So if that means that your knee has to be further away or you're holding onto your thigh, do that, okay? Want to keep the spine extended. If you would like to go further, clasp your hands underneath your left thigh and slowly unhinge the knee so that your leg is getting a nice hamstring stretch here. Again, flexing through your foot, rooting through the inner edge of your foot. Breathing here. If you want to go a little further, you can hold on to your calf and start to coax the leg in, but we're not forcing anything. Keep rooting down with your right foot if you're mirroring me. And remember that we want to keep the spine extended rather than rounding. One more breath here. Bend that knee and place it over the top thigh, the foot of the foot that's on the floor. Take an in breath, extend your spine, and then just start to lean forward. As you lean forward, you're going to feel a nice release of tension in your left hip. Okay? Don't be afraid of that. Breathe into it. If you can go a little further, you just continue to lean forward. Once you feel like your ribs are forward of your pelvis, in other words, you're not reaching from behind the pelvis, then go ahead and round your back if you'd like. Just make sure that with your back rounded, your abdominals are engaged. Take one more breath. Exhale to go further. Keep the leg crossed. We're going to come back up to a seated position. Hold on to the edges of your chair or the bed and bring the other foot off of the floor. This is the balancing part, right? So if you want, you can reach down and grab your shin. This would be, again, I'm cueing as though I'm mirroring you. So your right shin. If that's too much and you feel like you need to keep holding onto the chair or the bed, please do. And just let the balance happen. And if there's a little quaking, that's great. That's good for your core stabilizers. It's good for your proprioception. Release that down and cross the left knee all the way over the right. If you would like, you can do that full expression of eagle legs by tucking your toes behind your Achilles tendon. And then take your arms out, open them up wide. Bring your left elbow under your right, wrap your forearms, wrap your wrists and press your palms. If that's not happening today, right, we just grab hands to elbows and we bring the elbows up. Okay, so if you are in eagle arms, the elbows are coming up this way. If you're clasping elbows, the forearms come up and over the head. Take one more breath here. One more breath. And release. But unravel everything. And let's do that same series on the opposite side. So now bringing your right knee in, clasping your hands here, getting a nice stretch for your back. If your back is rounded, our first order of business is to move the knee further away, hold on to the thigh instead of the shin, and work the spine so that your back muscles are working here to support an extended spine position. Flex and point, circle around. Spend as much time here as you would like, right? Again, sending messages, right, to the feet, separating your toes, pulling the toes back, right? Pulling the toes away from each other. Most of you have also done this with me where you thread your fingers through your toes and work that. You can do this at any time, right? So again, just make sure that every single day, maybe even twice a day, you make sure your feet are moving, sending those messages, okay? If you'd like to go further, extend the leg straight, hold on to the thigh or the calf or one hand in one place, the other hand in the other. If you do feel like you still have room, some people do have flexible hamstrings, then you can go ahead and bring the leg in closer, but you wanna just go to a place where you're feeling a release of tension, not where you're pushing beyond your level of flexibility, because really what we wanna do is find stability. We're not doing this to become overly flexible. We want to have stability, right, as we age. From there, we're going to exhale and bend the knee, point the knee out, hands to your shins. Remember, we're on the edge of the chair. You're holding on if you feel like you need to and leaning forward. If you feel like you can go further, forearms can come to the shin. Notice that the knee isn't all the way up into my armpit. So if your knee is up here, I would highly recommend that you slide the ankle bone off of the thigh rather than to the outside, right? Slide the ankle bone to hang off the inside of the thigh. Hold on, kind of have your foot there with your hand because it's a little precarious, but it'll allow your hip to open a little more and you'll feel the stretch that we're looking for there on the gluteus maximus, medius, and our piriformis here. Push down with the sole of your left foot. And I'm not forcing, I'm not using any pressure with this, if you're mirroring me, right, your right hand, I'm not pushing down, I'm just placing the hand there. I can put the forearm there. So there's just a little extra weight to keep the knee moving down and out. But come up slowly, cross this knee all the way over. You can either just let the foot hang here, and if so, didn't talk about this on the other side, but you do want to engage your inner thighs. When you squeeze those inner thighs together, the lower core will tone. So just doing this with intention and by containing that drawing in feeling, instead of just having the legs crossed and doing nothing, right, is going to activate your core. Oh, I forgot one, didn't I? Yep, we got to do the balancing. Holding on, pick up your foot. You can lean back here if you need to. You could also decide, I'm not sitting all the way on the edge of the chair. So if you're sitting on the edge of the chair, you can lean back enough to hold onto the leg, the back of the thigh, or even the shin here. This would be where we're headed, right? This is that full expression of the pose. Actually, you could even straighten out that lower leg if you wanted, right? You can work up to that. You can also just let the legs balance, right? Go ahead and lower that. Let's go back to eagle. Tuck the toes if you can. Bring your right elbow under your left, wrap forearms, wrap wrists, press palms. Elbows are rising. If eagle arms is not happening today, grab the elbows, but then make sure that you're grabbing in a way that feels not so natural so we get the other side. So I would ask you to notice which forearm is on top, right? So right now, if I'm mirroring you, it's the right one. On the other side, I hope I had the left one on top. Pulling the elbows back, bring your chin up. This is important. You do want to use this, take this opportunity in both of these poses and whichever arm position you have to keep squeezing your inner thighs together and to keep lifting your head and pushing the back of your head toward the back of the room. Not so that your head is dropping back, right? But so that your neck muscles are engaged in strengthening in a way that keeps your head up rather than the head hanging forward. Okay, we don't need anything that makes us put our head forward anymore. So whatever pose you're in, right? Head back, like you're pushing against the wall with the very back of your head. Unravel everything, shake everything out. Go ahead, take one more deep inhale here. And exhale, hands to your heart center. All right. That'll do it for today. I hope you feel like you got an overall body workout and an overall body stretch, a nice massage for everything. If you do have more time, my only other thing that I would say that's super important, bring your fingers in between your toes, slide them into the webbing of your toes, right? And then start to spread the fingers open, pushing the toes open. Do all of the things, right? Circling through. And reversing the circle. Flexing, pointing, right? Massaging. You can also massage your fascia here. But please promise that you'll do something for those feet, that you're sending the messages, you're telling the foot itself to move. This will help keep us on our feet with less chance of tripping, falling, hurting ourselves as we age. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.